Have you lost countless opportunities because you didn't understand what a woman really wants? The truth is that most men navigate in the dark when it comes to interpreting female signals. Imagine being able to decipher, with surgical precision, every glance and every gesture that indicates real interest. This content will reveal a revolutionary method that will completely transform the way you read and understand female communication. More than just simple tips, we will dive deep into the behavioral psychology that separates cordiality from true interest. Prepare to uncover the secret codes of attraction, eliminating once and for all that feeling of always being lost and confused in front of an interesting woman. Let's speak candidly. Interpreting female signals is like deciphering a complex secret code. Many men make the fundamental mistake of confusing friendliness with real interest. The truth is that there is a gigantic difference between being friendly and demonstrating genuine attraction. The first step to understanding these signals is recognizing that each woman communicates in her own unique way. However, there are universal behavioral patterns that reveal genuine female interest. Experts in nonverbal communication identify that over 70% of communication occurs through gestures, expressions, and body language. When a woman is truly interested, she goes beyond standard cordiality. She will create subtle and strategic connections. The signals may seem discreet, but they are absolutely revealing to those who know how to observe. One of the most powerful indicators is prolonged eye contact. We are not talking about that quick, casual glance, but rather a gaze that lingers, beyond 3 seconds, accompanied by a soft smile. This kind of contact means you have captured all of her attention. Another important sign is casual touches. When a woman finds excuses to brush against you during a conversation, whether adjusting her necklace or touching your arm to emphasize something, it usually indicates interest beyond friendship. Digital communication also provides many clues. Quick responses, lengthy messages, the use of affectionate emojis, and taking the initiative to maintain a conversation are powerful indicators that she wants something more. But be careful. Interpreting signals doesn't mean creating unrealistic expectations or pressuring any situation. The key lies in respectful observation and sensitivity to understand the limits. The real secret is to develop a refined emotional intelligence. It is not enough to identify signals. It is essential to know how to respond authentically and comfortably. Pay attention to the details, observe calmly, and above all, be genuine. A true connection happens when you are truly present and interested. Let's unveil the fundamental concepts that separate simple cordiality from true romantic interest. Female nonverbal communication is a complex universe that goes far beyond superficial gestures. In the behavioral psychology of attraction, there is a fine line between social friendliness and genuine interest. Women develop subtle communication, strategies that require refined interpretation. It's not just about identifying signals, it is about understanding the emotional context behind them. The basic principles reveal that authentic interest transcends words. Body language becomes the real language of attraction. An attentive specialist will perceive that each gesture carries a specific message, from shoulder positioning to the direction of feet during a conversation. The dynamics of female behavior follow complex psychological patterns. When a woman is genuinely interested, she creates micro-actions that go unnoticed by most men. These are small details that act as true communication codes. Physical proximity emerges as a powerful indicator. She will naturally reduce personal distance, create excuses for casual touches, and maintain a body posture directed specifically towards you. These signs do not occur by chance. They are unconscious strategies for closeness. Experts in nonverbal communication identify that authenticity is fundamental in this process. It's useless to try to force an interpretation or create unrealistic expectations. The key lies in respectful observation and sensitivity to understand the real limits of interaction. Digital communication also provides precious clues. Response time, the quality of messages, the initiative to maintain dialogue. All of these are important indicators of real interest. A woman who invests emotionally goes beyond monosyllabic responses. The definitive secret lies in the balance between observation and respect. It's not about deciphering a secret code, but rather developing refined emotional intelligence. Each interaction is unique, and the sensitivity to perceive nuances will make all the difference in your success. In relationships, in the methodology of the 6 indications, the specialist reveals fundamental strategies to unveil female interest. Body language emerges as the first major revealer. When a woman is truly interested, her movements become subtly directed. She will adjust her posture, lean her body slightly towards you, and maintain an open body language that demonstrates availability. The patterns of verbal communication gain special prominence in this analysis. An interested woman tends to create more elaborate conversations with questions that go beyond simple cordiality. She seeks to know personal details, shows genuine curiosity, and finds excuses to keep the dialogue going longer. Social indicative behaviors are equally revealing. Pay attention to how she reacts to your presence. If she laughs more easily at your jokes, seeks moments of closeness, and creates situations to be near. These are powerful signals that go beyond mere social politeness. In the digital universe, the signals take on new contours. How she interacts on social media can reveal a lot. Strategic likes, frequent comments, quick responses, and the initiative to keep the conversation going are important indicators. Messages with affectionate emojis or those that show time and care dedicated to the conversation suggest an interest beyond the casual. Demonstrations of availability appear in surprising ways. She may adjust her schedule, create opportunities for casual meetings, or show interest in knowing your plans and routine. These are small movements that indicate you've garnered special attention. Indicators of emotional investment are the most subtle and powerful signals. Notice how she shares personal moments, seeks advice, and creates a connection that goes beyond superficiality. When a woman starts to include you in her emotional life, it means you have become someone special. The secret lies in intelligent and respectful observation. It is not about creating unrealistic expectations, but about understanding the true signals of interest. Authenticity and sensitivity will make all the difference in your ability to correctly interpret these indications. Remember that each woman is unique, and these signals may vary. The key is to develop refined emotional intelligence, to be genuinely present, and to respect the limits of each interaction. Unraveling the challenges in interpreting mixed signals requires a strategic and intelligent approach. Often, men become confused in the face of ambiguous behaviors, not knowing how to proceed. The first important tip is to remain calm and carefully. Observe behavioral patterns. Do not rush to draw quick conclusions. There are practical techniques to confirm real interest without creating awkward situations. An effective strategy involves creating subtle moments of interaction that allow you to test receptivity. This can mean a casual conversation, a discreet invitation for coffee, or a comment that opens space for a more intimate response. Experts recommend paying attention to the consistency of the signals. If she demonstrates interest in different contexts, whether personally or digitally, it's a positive indication. But be careful not to transform simple cordiality into unrealistic expectations. Direct communication emerges as a powerful tool. Don't be afraid to ask subtle questions that may reveal true interest. A comment like, "It would be nice to continue this conversation another time," can be an efficient test to gauge her reaction. It is important to highlight that each woman has her individuality. What works with one may not work with another. The key lies in sensitivity and the ability to read the specific signals of each situation. Social media can be allies in this process. Observe how she interacts on digital platforms. Strategic likes, frequent comments, and messages with affectionate emojis can reveal a lot about her interest. Develop your emotional intelligence. Learn to perceive subtle nuances in communication. It's not just about identifying signals. It's about understanding the emotional context behind them. Respect and authenticity are fundamental. Do not create manipulative games or try to force a connection. True attraction happens naturally when both feel comfortable and genuine. The secret lies in balancing observation, patience, and openness. Be present, show interest, but without appearing desperate. True connection arises when you are genuinely involved and sensitive to the subtle signs of interaction. One of the main misconceptions is to overvalue basic gestures of politeness, turning every smile or kindness into potential romantic interest. Many men fall into the trap of confusing professional or social friendliness with real attraction. A colleague who smiles or is kind during a conversation does not necessarily mean she is interested romantically. It is crucial to learn to differentiate cordiality from true emotional investment. Rushing an approach emerges as another critical mistake. Turning a subtle signal into a direct advance can quickly push her interest away. The specialist recommends a more subtle and strategic approach that allows for organic connection development without seeming invasive or desperate. Some men become paralyzed in the face of clear signals, characterizing excessive passivity. When a woman demonstrates various signs of interest, hesitation can cause the opportunity to be completely lost. Confidence and the ability to act at the right moment are crucial to achieving a real connection. Another common problem is the biased interpretation of signals. Many men project their desires and expectations onto each gesture, creating romantic narratives that do not actually exist. It is essential to maintain an objective and realistic perspective without transforming kindness into promises of relationship. Digital communication intensifies these challenges. Likes, comments, and messages can be easily misinterpreted. An affectionate emoji does not signify commitment, just as quick responses do not guarantee deep romantic interest. The true relationship expert understands that each interaction is unique. There is no magic formula to completely decipher female signals. The key lies in attentive observation, mutual respect, and the ability to read behavioral nuances without creating unrealistic expectations. Developing emotional intelligence becomes essential in this process. Learn to perceive true signals without falling into traps of misinterpretation. Be open, be genuine, and remain sensitive to the subtle details of female communication. Transformation begins with self-awareness. Recognize your interpretation patterns, question your own perceptions, and be willing to constantly learn about communication and interpersonal connection. The context of social interaction requires special skills to interpret female signals correctly. Each environment, be it professional, academic, or social, presents its own nuances that completely modify communication. In the workplace, signals need to be analyzed with much more caution. There, professional closeness can easily be confused with personal interest. The specialist warns that gestures of collaboration or cordiality do not necessarily represent romantic attraction. In the social universe, the rules become more flexible. Parties, bars, and social events allow for more free and spontaneous communication. In these locations, women tend to be more direct in demonstrating interest, using more expressive body language. In the digital world, the signals gain additional complexity. Strategic likes, frequent comments, and time dedicated to online conversations reveal much about potential interest. However, it's crucial not to overvalue these virtual interactions. The personality of the woman also directly influences how she demonstrates interest. Shyer women tend to use more subtle and discreet signals, while extroverted women may be more direct and evident in their demonstrations. Cultural issues also significantly impact this communication. In some societies, interest signals are more veiled, requiring a more refined interpretation. In others, communication occurs more explicitly and directly. The social context determines the intensity and manner in which these signals will be transmitted. A woman may act completely differently depending on the environment she is in. Be it a professional setting or a casual meeting. It's important to emphasize that there is no universal rule. Each interaction is unique and requires sensitivity to understand the specific details. The true expert in interpreting female signals develops sharp emotional intelligence, capable of perceiving subtle nuances in different contexts. The key lies in careful observation, mutual respect, and the ability to read signals without creating unrealistic expectations. Each environment offers different clues, and only with practice and attention will it be possible to develop this complex communication skill. Learn to be an attentive observer without appearing invasive. Sensitivity and respect will always be your greatest allies in the art of understanding female signals in different social contexts. The development of this skill goes far beyond simply paying attention. It requires a conscious and constant training of your emotional intelligence. Exercises in behavioral observation are fundamental in this process. Imagine yourself as a social detective, training your eye to capture the subtle details of interactions. It's not about being invasive, it's about developing a refined sensitivity. Start practicing in relaxed social environments. Observe how people interact, pay attention to gestures, glances, and body language. You don't need to focus only on potential romantic interests. The goal is to train your behavioral reading ability. Emotional intelligence is built through systematic practice. Develop the ability to perceive emotional nuances, understand contexts, and interpret signals without judgment. This means being truly present in interactions without projecting personal expectations. Some practical strategies can help in this training. Make discrete notes about your observations, reflect on the behavioral patterns you notice, and watch videos about nonverbal communication. Transform this into a daily exercise for personal development. Building confidence in interpretation happens gradually. Do not expect immediate results. It's a continuous learning process. Be open to mistakes and lessons without harshly judging yourself when you cannot correctly identify all signals. Practice empathy as the main tool. Understanding signals does not mean manipulating, but genuinely comprehending the other person. Develop your capacity for active listening, observe the subtle details of communication, and always remain respectful. Self-reflection becomes crucial in this process. Question your own interpretations, seek to understand your perception patterns, and be willing to deconstruct limiting beliefs about relationships and communication. Remember that each interaction is unique. There is no perfect manual or magic formula to completely decipher female signals. The true learning lies in sensitivity, respect, and the ability to be genuinely present. The definitive secret? Practice constantly, remain curious, and open to learning. Emotional intelligence develops like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger and more precise it becomes. The final invitation is for men to share their experiences, learn from their mistakes, and be open to continuous growth in interpersonal communication. The next recommended step is to continue studying, practicing, and refining your understanding of the subtle codes of attraction.